What's up, guys? Welcome back to Rusty Nuts Media. Today, there's a lot of updates going on, a lot of stuff happening. So, this big tent here, this is Gewch's temporary permanent house. A lot of things have been going on with the caliber here. So we were testing a lot of parts the last couple months, mainly for anybody that wants to build a caliber or these type motors for anything really. In the bottom end, once you start getting really high horsepower, you start revving really high. Sometimes the tone wheel, reluctor wheel, crank trigger, it's all kind of the same deal. It's a gear on the crankshaft down in the bottom of the motor. Sometimes those can come loose. It could be the bolts, it could be they just fall apart, they disintegrate, takes out the whole bottom end. It's a big messy subject. So I've been working with a company, Real Tune Performance. They made a billet tone wheel and some really good hardware that goes down in there. So of course, for me to test that out, I had to pull my motor out, tear it all apart, put that in the bottom of the motor, put it all back together, put it in the car, do that a handful of times, honestly. Testing out a couple things. Overall, we're done with the testing. Everything's done there. And those will be going up for sale on Real Tune's website soon. If anybody's building a caliber engine and wants one of those, you can go there and get it. So that testing is complete. Now, as far as Gewch is right now, pretty much the same car, same shell. You guys are used to seeing Gewch like this, but in the front, I did pull the built motor out. I'm actually going to be redoing that motor. Under the hood of the car right now, I forgot to put the hood on it. I'll take it off and I'll show you what I've got going on. Ta-da! So, this engine here, the block, head, cams, internals, everything here is out of a Jeep Compass. I just put my accessories, fuel system, valve cover, all this stuff on so it would fit in here, bolted it up to my transmission. And the only reason that is in here right now, it's also just an open header at the moment. This is honestly just so I can drive the car around. I can move it around while the built motor gets sent off and redone and all that. So it'll crank, it'll drive around. It has about 120 horsepower if I had to guess, which is fine, it's whatever. It's just so I can move the car around. But yeah, Gewch will crank. Ooh, I'm gonna crank it. Now, it's been sitting here. The battery might be semi-dead. I know it's got some charge, so we'll see if it'll crank. This is gonna be a intercooled, naturally aspirated Jeep Compass with an open header. This is what it would sound like. Sweet. So that's Gewch. A naturally aspirated Jeep Compass open header engine in a race car. Mostly just so I can move it around, like I said, while the motor gets built. So there's something in the background that I'm going to be working on next. This is our newest project car. This is a 1972 Camaro. Is a 350 small block Chevy in the front, carbureted, of course, a factory 4-speed shifter, going back to a GM 10-bolt, I believe, in the rear. This is something that I'm pretty new to. I do a lot of newer cars, 4 cylinders, boost, computers. This is pretty new to me. I've never messed with carburetors or anything like this. The body, super straight body. The interior, it's actually not a bad interior. It's just torn apart right now. So I believe it had a leak in the heater core up here. Somebody tore it apart trying to get to the heater core. So I'm going to end up sticking all this back together and probably just bypassing the heater core for a while. Then sure enough, fix it later before it gets really cold. But, great cars. So, the paint is pretty old. Pretty rough shape. There is a little bit of rust, but it's nothing crazy. It's just up here on the surface, it's starting to get a little rough, so it needs to be taken care of pretty quickly, but overall, the car's in really good shape. Let's see. Really dirty. It hasn't been driven very much at all. I actually don't know if it'll crank right now. The tires are rough, the brakes are rough, everything's rough. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see if it's got oil in it and coolant in it, and I'm gonna see if it'll start. If it starts, we might go for a little drive, who knows. But this is actually gonna be what we're working on moving forward. Gewch is still gonna be in the background, but it's gonna be probably several months before we have another engine ready to drop in. So in the meantime, this is gonna be something we're gonna be working on. Nothing crazy. This is not a race car build. This is not a race car. What I'd like to do with this car is just get it to where we can crank it, drive it, take it to car shows, just drive it around, just use it as a car. I've always loved this body style, the second generation Camaro, the early ones like this. It's not a split bumper, it's got the full bumper on the front, but I love the way these look. So I think today we're gonna start trying to put all this interior back together and then see if it'll crank. Unless I can try to crank it right now. Small disclaimer, I know nothing about old cars like this. Don't know how to crank it. This has to be in reverse, which is pull in first. And that's to let the key out of it. So I'm gonna leave it in reverse. Let's just see. Ooh, the light came on. Ooh, we have a pretty low battery. Let me get some cables. Oof, we're gonna need to let it charge for a minute. Oh crap. Ooh. Strong exhaust smell in the car. Pretty sure there's a massive hole somewhere. I don't know if that's quite firing on all 8 cylinders. Might need a little bit of a health check on this thing, but look at that, it fires up. That's pretty cool. In reverse, key out. So we did get it to fire up. Probably needs a little bit of a tune-up, honestly, but that's no problem. I think I'm gonna end up going to the store, getting, oil change, new plugs, a couple things like that. Probably do a little tuning on the carburetor, which I get to learn about now. So that's gonna be fun. So yeah, it cranked up, man. I love the way it looks. I love this body style, love it. So honestly, I think the plan moving forward is gonna be, one, to get it running, steady running. Crank every time, make sure good battery. After we do that, we're gonna clean it up really good. We're gonna put the interior back together, probably make sure the brakes are good. If not, replace them. It's discs on the front, drums in the back. I've never messed with drum brakes. I've heard they suck, but I can try to rebuild them maybe. I can replace the brakes on the front. We'll check over the suspension. This is my first time dealing with leaf springs, solid rear axle, any of that stuff. So maybe drain the trans and the diff, see what the fluid looks like. Replace the fluid in those. Basically just go all over the car, once over, check everything out, replace a couple things here and there, and then just start driving this car. Clean it up, remove some of the rust, just put some primer down for now. And just make this thing a small little project. Nothing crazy, nothing wild, no crazy engine swaps, no pulling the trans or building that. Just get the car driving. That's what I want to do with it. So I think that's the plan for now. I'm probably going to leave this video right here because you know where Gewch is at. You know where we're at with this new car. Anything you think I should know about these cars? Because I honestly don't know a lot. I know the bare minimum, and these cars are basically bare minimum. So minimum, bare minimum. But yeah, I want to learn new stuff. I want to learn about all the cars, including carburetors, rear axles, you know, all this old stuff. So I'm going to start tinkering with this throughout the week. I'll do some videos as we go, kind of show you what's going on with it. And in the meantime, poof, I'm in a different spot. So you might have noticed we haven't been in our garage here lately. First, that wasn't our garage. We were kind of borrowing a space in Jake's garage, and we've moved our entire operation to my house here. Another big thing that's happening this year, we're building a garage here on this piece of property right here. It's in the corner of my land over here. We're gonna take this little shed and kind of move it over to the side. And this is gonna be our new Rusty Nuts Media garage, where we have our own space, our own bays to do whatever we wanna do in. So while we're kind of tinkering with the Camaro in the forefront, in the background, we're gonna be, you know, pouring the pad and putting up garage here. Something that we can do anything we wanna do here. We can be as loud as we want, as rowdy as we want, do anything we want here. And not on a main highway. That was getting a little sketchy after about 600 horsepower and a lot of flybys of the house. So yeah, so that's what's going on, man. We've got Gewch is going to be getting another motor this year. We've got the Camaro getting ready to go and drive around. We've got the garage coming up. So it's a lot of stuff happening this year. And that's basically your update for this week. I'll probably do another video either this week, possibly early next week, but we're going to start doing videos again every week or two. And just keep stuff coming out, because I know I've been kind of lazy lately with the videos, but there's so much going on this year. I want to keep you guys up to date with everything. So I think that's going to do it for this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.